couldn't spell, but maybe it'll be a good kisser. Who knows?
Here's everything we know about Michelle Young's first Bachelorette group date. Hey guys, we are back with the latest on Michelle's season of The Bachelorette. But before we dive into this new teaser, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring, and I'm joined by the wonderful Zachary Reality. Zachary, we are here, we are in it. Michelle's season is officially underway. Obviously, next week we're gonna see our first group date, our first dates. How are you feeling after the premiere episode? Are we invested in these men yet?
We are more invested than we were when we started. We talked about being a little hesitant to dive into another season because it's been back-to-back, but I'm definitely liking a lot of the men. And I'm excited to get the ball rolling and see these group dates because that is like, there's a lot of fun that goes on in the first few episodes that we kind of forget about because usually the second half of the season is all about the love and sometimes there's a lot of drama towards the end. But a lot of the funniest moments happen when there's like the most guys on these early group dates. So I'm excited to kind of get to know them a little bit better and to start picking some early favorites.
I couldn't agree with you more. I do want to dive into this teaser clip of Michelle's first group date. So we know they are sticking with the teacher theme. They're going to be doing a back-to-school themed date. Before we even get into it, there could be a couple more guys, but it looks like this date will be Rick, Brandon, Casey, Daniel, Peter, Romeo, Will, LT, PJ, and Olumide. So pretty good group. Let's check out this first clip.
Oh, wow.
Today is the first group date, and we're going back to school.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness. So we talked about this a lot in the premiere episode recap. There's been a lot of teacher references. They are really laying that on thick, but it's such a big part of who Michelle is, and she looks so excited in this clip for this date that I feel like I'm here for it. I don't know if I want to be all teacher themed the whole season, but I'm excited for this first date.
We definitely need a teacher group date. I mean, this whole season is about being a teacher. So I'm totally here for this. I think the kids are going to be really funny. They're going to edit them and probably give them one-liners to make them laugh. Kids are always funny on TV. And this is going to tell like who are the most mature guys, like how you are with kids, how you like handle yourself like around kids, especially when they're misbehaving, or even if some of these guys start to act like the kids because they're immature. Like this is going to tell the boys from the men and who's going to be a great husband and father. So this is like a good test right off of the bat to see which of these guys are good for Michelle in the long haul.
Absolutely. And I mean, this is obviously her environment. This is her world. It's a recreation of a classroom. This is what she does every day. So how they fit in with her doing her thing in her element, I feel like is also going to be really cute to explore. Obviously, this is a group date, so they had to have some fun sort of challenge, and it looks like Michelle is going to be giving them a bit of a pop quiz.
Students, take your seats, because class is in session.
They are going to be put to the test.
I have to say, I love that they brought in these kids. I do think that they're probably actors, but that's okay, right? They're locked and loaded with their questions. I feel like this is going to be a really good opportunity with this group of guys to see who's able to stand out, because this isn't one of those dates where they're mixing and mingling, right? They all are seated at their own desk, so to get their personality across, you definitely have to make an impression here.
But a pop quiz is terrifying, Fiona. Like, who knows what the subject is going to be, or just like the essays or the questions. Like, this is going to put them in the hot seat and make them have to think fast and think on their toes. So this is going to tell who are some of the smarter guys, because who can do well under pressure, who can know their knowledge or history about whatever the subjects are. These kids are going to have us cracking up. So this is going to be a really fun group date.
It definitely is. I have to say, if I was put in a room and told there was going to be a pop quiz, if there was any math involved, I would be sweating. I would be so nervous. And it looks like she's really putting them to the test with all subjects across the board. Let's take a look at the first one.
It's time for math.
How many times is it acceptable to call me beautiful in a day?
Aww,
Ooh,
that
good
was so
question.
cute. That was a great question. It was so cute. And I love that it's not like she's making them do long division or something that like could actually be really stressful. I feel like this is a fun way of getting to see how well the guys are in tune with what she's looking for. Because there could be 100 right answers to that. You know what I mean? Like some people don't accept compliments as well as others. So the way these guys answer is going to show like how in tune with Michelle they are, I feel like.
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to put down for this question. How many times is it acceptable to call her beautiful? Because every woman is different, or anyone's different that wants to be called beautiful. I think the right answer, not that there is one, but I would say like 9 to 10 times a day. Because if you're telling her like 400 times a day, that might be too much and too clingy. So I think 9 to 10 times is a good range for Michelle. What do you think? How many? What do you think is the perfect answer that she wants to hear?
I definitely see, I'm with you because if somebody said like once, right, it would be like, well, where's the effort? You can only say it once. But if somebody said 400, you'd be like, all right, relax a little bit. Let's look at this next clip and see what they come up with.
Brandon, is that an infinity or 8?
It's an infinity. I'm terrible.
You gotta flip it.
Oh, sorry. I'll turn it to the
That's
side.
an 8.
All right,
8 times.
so it looks like the popular answer here is infinity/8. I feel like that's a really sweet way to answer. I think it's clever and creative. Also, look at Brandon like already standing out, not necessarily for like the best reason because he didn't know how to draw an infinity sign, but they had a little moment there.
Happens. I mean, he's smiling from ear to ear. I think he's just excited to be there. He's definitely, thriving in the class environment. But infinity is the safe answer. I don't like the safe answer. Put 9 to 10 times, put 12 times. Like, you shouldn't just put the answer that you want her to hear. And saying infinity is the answer that she wants to hear. It's safe, it's not bold. So I would respect somebody who put an actual number, even if it was 3 times, as long as they had an explanation, because at least they're staying true to themselves and they're not just trying to please Michelle and kiss her butt.
Yeah, we will have to see because obviously we only got a sneak peek of a couple of those answers. So we'll have to see what the guys come up with, what their explanations are. I'm with you. Somebody could put 1, but if they have like a really deep, heartfelt reasoning behind why or how they'd be doing it, that could be really interesting too. So very excited to see. Looks like from here, we're going to be moving on to spelling. And this is a little more just like straight up a spelling bee. Let's watch this next clip.
Oh no.
It's time for spelling.
Protein. Everyone get it right? Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. So I guess she's maybe giving them some words that like you might get tripped up on, but I have to say I feel like protein isn't that hard and it looks like Brandon Shay didn't get it. What do you make of this, Zachary?
It's getting a little blurry, so I can't see. I mean, do you know how to spell protein? I think it's Protein. It's always I before E, Brandon J. They teach you that in school. This is a pretty easy word, but sometimes people do get their I and E's mixed up. So I think that's what he did. Yeah, this is not acceptable. I don't know, Brandon, you gotta know there's some words you need to know how to spell. Maybe if it's like supercalifragilistic, that would be an excuse not to get that one right. But I hope she gives them some hard questions because spelling bees are fun, but they're very difficult too.
They are difficult. And you know what? I have to say, I think Brandon, look at his face here. He's obviously struggling, but it's always good to stand out. So even if he's standing out through maybe not having the most superb spelling skills, he's definitely making an impact here. Let's see what happens as the quiz continues.
Brandon can spell, but maybe he'll be a good kisser. Who knows?
Okay, that's a hard. Entrepreneur is a very difficult word to spell. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt if he mixes this up. But what if this is his strategy, Fiona? What if he's trying to get them wrong so that he has to stay after class and possibly get detention? This could be all a ploy to get some extra time with Michelle.
100%. And I feel like he kind of has that like boyish charm. Like he's sort of always giggling and like always seems like he's a little bit mischievous. And I think that can be very charming. So I'm really curious if he emerges like victorious from this date, even if he sort of stumbles the whole way through. Because right there when Michelle was talking about him, where did her head go? He might not be a good speller, but he might be a good kisser. Clearly she's attracted to him, right? I mean, it's so obvious.
Yeah. She definitely likes him. He is definitely catching her eye. He's very cute. He's handsome. I think he might be a little too young for Michelle. I don't know how old he is, but I feel like she probably wants to be with someone who's a little bit more like just older, I guess her age, like her type of levelness. He just seems a little young spirited, which is great. So I think that they're going to have a nice ride. I think they're going to have a nice love story. I can see her getting very giddy over him throughout the season. But as far as like who she's going to pick in the end, I don't know if he's going to be her future husband, but I think they're going to have a really good friendship. But it also is too soon to tell. So we'll see what happens after class.
So yeah, I am totally with you. We know he is 26 and she is 29. So you are right. He is a little bit younger than she is. And I'm kind of with you. It feels like when I picture a guy for Michelle, I want someone playful. I want someone funny, but I also feel like he needs to be like a grown-up, very mature, very smart, very driven, someone who can really meet her. But that doesn't necessarily mean that this won't work. Sometimes opposite personalities can attract. It'll just come down to, is he mature enough? Is he ready to go all the way to the end? Obviously, we are like literally grasping at straws here because we're just getting our very first looks at the season and what their connections are going to look like. I think it is safe to say that we are so excited for next week's episode of The Bachelorette.
Yes.
Zachary, is there anyone else on this group date that maybe we didn't get to know super well in this clip, but that you're excited to hopefully get to know better through this date?
Well, I also want to say, I think he might have spelled it right. I'm not entirely sure. I'm personally going to have to Google how to spell entrepreneur, but I think he spelled it right. I know Peter is on this date, who I had some red flags about in the first episode, so I'm interested to learn a little bit more about him to see if those red flags live up. And Rick is also there, who was the guy who was in the table, who was like in the platter. So I'm excited to see Rick more because Rick was one of my favorites from night one.
I am so with you. When I saw Rick walking through in the middle of this clip, that's the first thing I thought. We really liked Rick during the first episode, so hopefully we'll get to know him more. We have, I believe, both firefighters on this date, Daniel and PJ, so we'll see how things are going for those two after their limo entrances. Overall, I think it's going to be a fun date and a fun episode. You guys, we want to know down in the comments what you make of this little clip we got here, and if you noticed anything that we missed. And of course, we want to know who you are excited to get to know more next week in the second episode of the season. On that note, that is everything we have to share with you for now, so be sure to leave us your thoughts down in the comments. And if you are not already subscribed to our channel, make sure you do. Make sure you ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I am your host, Fanazering, joined by the wonderful Zachary Reality. If you want to come say hi, be sure to check out our socials. They're on your screens right now. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.